hours into it. But that's not what we're here to talk about, because we're here live for the Duke Blue-Green Devils, coached by Kzarik, the Mighty Lizards, and the Texas A&M Les Agricultures, coached by Bazakastine. So we got some Bretonians, their feisty defensive skills, and some Lizards and their feisty, Mighty Blow abilities, because Kzarik plays them pretty bashy. With me in the booth for the first time in the NCBB, at least, is Astaflix, our wonderful Canadian friend who's an NBFL division leader currently.
I mean, I have a game over the guy that's supposed to be chasing me, but yeah.
Hey, you're leading and he's not. That's the important part, right?
Exactly.
Not to mention, you beat the shit out of MRT not once, but twice, and he was supposed to carry not only the division, but the conference, so times are changing.
According to our own XCon's early season prediction, I was ranked 4th in my division.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you put Goat Trek over me.
No, that doesn't sound right.
I'm Rookie Norse.
I'm fairly sure I clearly predicted you to win the division, so
the Super Bowl.
Yeah, of course, but all right. As far as these two teams, I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea what their records are. We haven't been able to update the group page. Nelfine was helping me with it last season. He's been busy with real life stuff, and I've been slacking on recoding it. So let me look for Uber, because I know he had the records up to date. Both these teams, that's a lot of coaches. Oh my god.
Both these really teams
that's not the right Uber, is it?
What's happening?
There it is, John Wilson. Okay. Let me see.
But yeah, I really like those teams' logos.
Yes, Duke's had this wonderful armored lizard for a while, and Baz, the middle part's okay, but I'm just gonna not go on my soapbox about the outer areas.
That's fair. I just like the color scheme,
Fair enough. We do have one inducement. That is Griff Oberwald, a very, expensive player, but 7'4", 4'8", sprint, loner, sure feet, block, fend, dodge. Hell of a player. Technically, just better than anything Baz has on his roster, because Bretonians are, it's
exactly.
It's a tough roster, and it's only his second season, so he still thinks he's going to win the championship. Because it's Baz. And he gives everybody problems, because Bretonians with the mass fend on their linos and all the guard and wrestle and stand firm, the dauntless, it's not an easy defensive team to deal with. And even Kzarik, as bashy as he likes to play, looks like he's going to play a little bit off right now.
Yeah, and Baz is definitely the coach I would, fear the most with Bretonians.
Yeah, he seems to have a handle on them already. Using an early reroll.
Yeah, an early reroll, because you don't want your source to go down to wrestle there.
And then get fouled, yeah. That seems like the likely result. Now, Duke, for quite some time, has always had a star-studded ball carrier, the latest being Knob Carson, but he's graduated, so now it looks like Zahari Zeborn, their Movement 9 sidestep skink, is going to be the new main ball carrier. We'll see if he can carry on the lineage of that team. Let me find these records, for God's sake. Let's see. Messages. Uber. There he is.
Baz's team is 10-3-2. So Texas A&M
probably overall.
Yeah.
But this season, okay, hopefully this is up to date. Let's see. FBC. So Duke should be running 2-2-1, and Texas A&M was 2-2-0. They missed a game. I don't know if this is up to date, though, but this is week 6, so that sounds about right. So, neither team, coming out super strong out the gate, but still in contention. Both teams looking to perhaps win the FBC conference, which is usually a very good one. Duke has obviously been a national power for years. They've won several titles. Florida State, Zolaran's Dark Elf team is one of his main rivals. They're always up there with him. Jim Fear's Miami team, the Slan, can never count them out. Bull and his Charlotte team, though, they gave me all I can handle, but They haven't done as well in conference so far. Air Force has Murder Rat, John Cannon, the Strength 5, Claw, Mighty Blow, Storm Vermin guy. He's always a threat. We'll see, though, if Kzarik can figure out these Bretonians, because they haven't allowed many touchdowns in their entire, history. They've only allowed 2 this season, and then throughout their history, they've only allowed 8 in 15 games, so teams are basically scoring half a touchdown against them a game. That's ridiculously good.
Yeah, that's incredibly good. Wow.
Yeah. Now, that being said, they were in the new team division last season, as all first-year teams are. So, take a little bit of salt. There's some new coaches, and just, low TV Blood Bowl can get weird, but it's still impressive.
Hell, yeah.
Still impressive.
Yeah. Low TV Blood Bowl is a bane of many coaches.
Trying to convince Drew to fix up his resume so he could become the next coach of the Dallas Cowboys, because something's got to change. I mean, he's got more Super Bowls than the Cowboys do, so I mean.
Hey, and he's got to be fair, Drew has more Super Bowls than 30 teams.
This is true. He's the one we're all chasing.
Yeah. I mean, we're not chasing Robo, that's for sure.
No, but Robo did finally get one, so that's all he really cares about.
Which is, congratulations to him. Anyhow, this is the first time I've seen Bretonians being coached in a league setting, because NBFL has no Bretonian team.
True, no one's that crazy. Granted, we thought nobody would be crazy enough to do Norse again, but we were wrong. We were very, very wrong about that one.
Hey, there's also Old World Alliance. So.
Yeah, that. I don't know how that's relatively working out for Lord Bass. I mean, the team just does not look good on paper, but he's fighting tooth and nail every game, and he's pulled out some ties and a couple wins. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, Lorbaz is playing better than he was playing with his Underworld too, but
I mean, it's Underworld.
Yeah. But... Hey, I might be 10 games in and everybody else is either 8 or 9 games, but I have the most points in the NBFL as of right now.
Hey, that's still an accomplishment, man. I can tell you that I can count on my one hand the number of times I've led the NBFL in points, and I'm pretty sure I don't need any fingers to do so. I've been in that league since season 4 or season 3, and I've gotten 2 buys ever. I don't think I've ever had the best record.
I mean, I think it's either my 5th or 6th season, something like that. Baz could tell you better than I would, but I mean, hey, I made the playoffs twice or 3 times. I hope to make it a 4th.
Yeah, I mean, I know your Chaos Dwarves, you did once or twice, and then your Vampires got in once, and then that game against MRT, I felt so bad for you. Literally anything you tried to do, snakes. I was like, ah. Oh.
Hey, playing Norse, I've been talking to Baz about it, and he's like, Norse is probably the team that forces you to not be too aggressive, and I'm like, what do you mean? I'm playing Norse.
Yeah, you gotta be a little bit aggressive, I suppose.
Yeah.
Looks like there's an NBFL game starting. Let's check whom it is.
It's Dash versus Menno.
Oh.
Clawbash against Clawbash.
And somehow Menno has the lower TV, even though Dash usually keeps his team pretty trim. But it has been that kind of season for Menno. Things not going the way he wants. But
see, I'd be more compassionate or empathetic about his season if MRT wasn't in my division.
Yeah, I mean, if Menno thinks he's getting the short end of the stick, there's a shorter stick that MRT is getting, that's for sure.
I felt so bad because I killed his last good catcher.
You already got at least 2, or I know you got one of them in the opener. I think you missed this game, maybe another one, but
I missed next game his entire catch, 3 catchers, including 1 perm.
Yeah.
in the season opener. And then, in the game we've just played, his last remaining catcher I gave like -MA.
I tried to warn him that he needed to play that game another time than last night at like 11 at night.
He pinged me. I was like, okay, I'll play.
Damn, fuck it.
Hey, I got 2 casts that game. One didn't matter, and one was on a foul that killed his best player.
Classic.
Yeah.
All right.
Yo, it's like Baz against Rel, man. Did you see that?
The Wood Elf versus Rat game? I saw parts of it. That was a
Dude,
silly game as well.
Corey Coleman, the frenzy tackle mighty blow, he blitzes the like one turner of Rel, like
Right.
3 turns in a row, gets no knockdown. Rel blitzes him once, kills his war dancer.
Oh,
And
Blood
like
Bowl.
it was like death, apple minus strength. And I was like, wow. Wow.
Nuffle can be cruel, that's for certain. Get a blitz here.
Ooh, blitzing with Griff. Interesting.
It's not bad because you push him into another block.
Yeah. I mean, you got to pad those block stats some way, somehow, right?
Yeah, I mean, blocks are a bit overrated, but here you're creating surplus value because now you've taken down a Saurus for another turn with the
Yeah,
K
you're
with the
good
stun.
stun.
Yeah. And then
And I mean, Kzarik's already down in Saurus.
this is true. And that does add up for lizards. I know I was
Yeah.
playing against UTEP the other day. UTEP's a Nurgle team, still pretty young, but they're starting to come along. And when you lose a Saurus and then another one against someone like Nurgle, and all of a sudden they're just throwing blocks everywhere, it's not a fun time.
Yeah, I imagine it ain't. Also, don't look at the NBFL game. Just don't.
Okay, fair enough.
Just don't.
I usually don't run 2 games at once while I'm streaming because the sounds from the second game would overlap with this one and be very confusing.
Yeah. If you want to, I can pop in updates every now and then, but
I'll take a peek when it's over. I need to actually, provide analysis of what's going on here instead of talking about different leagues and everything.
That's fair.
Let's see. Bretonians still have 9 on the field. Lizards down to 10, but 1 stunned. We do have a blitzer out, but he's basically a rookie. The guards stand for and wrestle Yeoman's kind of a good knockout for Kzarik, but the Saurus for him getting knocked out is a bigger loss. There's a stun there in the blitz. Kzarik probably looking for the 8-turn stall here. Like the most likely outcome for this game is either 1-1 or 1-0 in somebody's favor. Like this does not appear like it's gonna be a high scoring affair at all.
That's an interesting take on it, because my first instinct would be to say 2-1 because lizards are really fast and Bretts have a pretty good offense.
I trust the Bretonian defense more than I do their offense so far from what I've seen. There was one Bretonian team previously in the league, and I think it didn't make it to its 4th season. The coach just wasn't enjoying them or needed to leave the league for whatever reason. I forget, but regardless, defense they're very strong. We've already pointed out they only allow basically half a touchdown a game on average.
Yeah.
And he averages basically 1 touchdown a game. Baz does, if I remember. It was like 15 in 15 games. So he doesn't look to push the pace. Teams think they can grind out Bretonians because, the linemen are all AV7. The Yeomen are, only AV8, and so are the Blitzers. But they're such a strong defensive skilled team that all of a sudden you get mucked down at midfield and you're not making progress, and all of a sudden it's turn 6, you're like, oh shit, I need to score. And then Baz does what he needs to do, cuts off the ball, and I can get a touchdown.
I mean, Baz is also just, in general, I would say, a really good defensive coach.
Oh, for sure. That's a bit of a risky block there, being a -2 die before Dauntless works, but Dauntless does work, and so you take down the mighty Kroxigor. Get a good blitz here with Griff.
Oh, you can maybe put a player on the ball.
I think instead he's going to go for another foul. If you can get Cody Ko out, those are the 2 best Saurai off the field. That'd be a pretty big win for the Bretonians. Not
What a
quite.
shame.
Gets a stun,
Ooh.
but the
Oh,
ref
okay.
is coerced into letting the player, sit out a little bit. Just a little timeout.
I still think that it's probably not what Baz wanted, but he'll take it.
Well,
That's bad.
that's bad. Not only did you just lose a player for free for a stun on that toss, the first block you get another player tossed. Well, not
Like
tossed.
injured.
Yeah. Maybe he was like grabbed and like tossed very violently to the ground. But
Exactly.
either way, now you're down 4 players
No,
on
I
this
mean,
drive. And
yeah,
the
it's 7
Lizards,
against 10.
yeah, Lizards still have 10. So you can have as many defensive skills as you want. You still need to have players on the field to, do stuff with. Other double skulls doesn't help, but Kzarik rerolls out of it. I'm not sure I'd stand firm there, honestly. I know you can stand up again and get another blocks on the croc score, but I think you'd rather get away from the croc score at this point and kind of reset your defense. It's one of those skills where, unlike sidestep where you get to like choose every time and so you can choose the best one, sometimes you just stand firm automatically out of habit, and there's a couple occasions where it actually is detrimental.
Yeah, I mean, stand firm is unlike sidestep. I would say stand firm is a skill that requires more consideration before the usage, because
Could get you in trouble, just like that foul did there for that little skink. He is tossed from the game. The ref,
I
not coerced this time.
I hate fouling with lizards in general,
Why is that?
because your skinks are, to me, skinks are the heart and blood of the lizardman team. If you say it's Saurus, then okay, we disagree.
Okay. I
And
think like 90% of Lizard coaches would disagree, but I'll give the
yeah,
floor to you. Go ahead.
what I mean by that is what your opponent wants to do is remove those skinks, right?
Right.
And I feel like you're helping him by, fouling.
True. There have been plenty of Lizard games where you watch, and I think we did commentary for Arizona, which is WOG's new Lizard team in the NBFL, against the Glams. And I
Ooh,
remember,
I would
like,
output that.
I think at this point you almost have to.
I mean, it's also it's a blitzer, and it's the leader.
True, that is a reroll you prefer to have. Chooses
Okay,
not to.
that's fair.
I mean, you do have a relatively deep team at this point with 5 reserves, a couple KOs that might come back, but
That's very true.
still, you're losing a blitzer. You've already lost a Yeoman, and you lost another blitzer and a Yeoman to KOs. So those are your better players. Basically, lizards, if you start running out of skinks, all of a sudden you have to do like a 5+ or 6+
Yeah.
pickup and catch. And I mean, it works from time to time. We saw Croxagore carry the ball the other night in an NBFL game. God, who was it? I think it was Denver. They had a Croxagore get the ball somehow, and he started rumbling downfield with it. I don't know if he scored. I didn't see the end of
Yeah,
the drive.
he scored against Crichton.
Oh, nice. That's pretty awesome. The Croxus Roxus.
Yeah.
Not as cool as the Saurus Scorus, but, it's up there. It's up there.
That was nice. That was nice.
OTS, am I mispronouncing Yeoman? Is it like, I mean, YEO, man, like Yeoman sounds right. I mean, I don't know if it is, but I'm not cultured in Yeoman. That's not as cool, so I'm not going to go with it. Baz blitzing the skink corner might mark the ball here. He's got to make something happen with his forces dwindling.
Well,
Looks like he's
you
going
have Griff.
You do have Griff. I mean, that's a 7-4-4. Okay, that's a nice move. They're putting your blodging sidestep and Griff on the ball. Interesting. You leave your tackle available. He's going to mark up some of the Sorai.
And I mean,
the Croxagore.
Griff is pretty good at one turning.
True, he is. I mean, movement 7, but sprint and sure feet.
Yeah.
With dodge.
When I used to play NAF tournaments, I used to run humans with Griff.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I was setting up for like a one turn, my opponent would look at me puzzled, like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
And you
And
said,
then,
"Watch this. Roll the
yeah,
dice."
I mean, yeah, that's basically what happened. It worked once. I got a beer for it.
Nice. I mean, movement 7 is extremely difficult to make work, but because you can move 10 spaces, it's certainly more plausible.
Yeah, definitely. Also, in the other game, Menno versus Dash,
Mm-hmm.
Menno killed the AV8 Claw Superstar. So, you know,
One of the blockers or one of
yeah,
his.
blockers.
Okay.
No, one of his Chaos blockers got missed next game, though.
Okay.
So it's a pretty bloody game, but, you know, Menno's dicing Dash.
It's Claw Bash. Whatever
Yeah, but
happens, everybody cheers.
it, it's Claw Bash that's re-rolling every block, so it's good Claw Bash, you know?
Hey, it's good for the fans, right?
Kind of.
All right, let's see
All
what
right.
Kzarik does here. He could blitz a sidestepper off with his tackle frenzy, or potentially
That's
fill in these spots and then blitz him so he can get him away from the ball, but you're still touching Griff. Yep, fills in the spots. And, oh my gosh.
a good apple.
Yep.
Good job.
Good job, Mr. Doctor. You're, not as bad as some of the ones we've seen recently.
Oh man, the doctors in this league and in the sister league have been horrendous. Like, you know, Mr. T's doctor needs to get fired.
Oh my god, he's probably killed like he's probably killed like 4 of the elves this season. Attempted
Yeah,
to.
it went something like foul minus MA, apple minus AG. He was like, nah.
Oh god. And then you said Baz's doctor tried to give his word answer minus strength instead of being dead. I'm like, that's not much better. It's basically the same thing for a ward answer. Throws a block against Griff with the ball carrying skink and gets a
the
pow. Nice.
Okay, if you're Baz, do you consider blitzing the ball?
Do you have any other choice? I mean, there's diving tackle at the. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2.
Yeah, but you just rolled a 5+. Oh.
Yeah, he's going to try to go through diving tackle because he has dodge, but dodge does not work.
So, one turn with Griff. I believe in Baz.
Doesn't get a lot of luck with his KOs, only one of the 3, and the one Saurus that was out does come back, so first half going very well for Duke overall. But you're right, Griff, probably the one-turn option here. You got a couple other movement 7 guys, but none of them are nearly as good as him. Question, I suppose, is who gets him the ball? You don't really have a dedicated ball carrier. No noble knight of Bretonia has gotten agility or anything like that.
Yeah.
Not blessed by the lady, I suppose.
That's one of the things that I think holds Bretonia back in NCBB that would be fixed in NBFL is, man, you can draft some good blitzers.
It's true. It's true. I mean, block, catch, dauntless, 7-3-3-8. I think they're a bit pricey, but you'd have agility access already, and then if you get stats or strength skills like guard and mighty blow and all that fun stuff, I mean, you're right. I mean, the team may be... Is usable the right word? I don't know. I still think the roster would struggle heavily in NBFL, but I mean, we're surprised this season by Old World and Norse so far.
I mean, I think that between Norse and Bretonia, Bretonia's got some. Bretonia has less chance of completely like blowing up.
Yeah.
But Norse is pretty tricky to play against at high TV because so much frenzy means if I get the advantage, I can probably reliably knock down your entire team.
Yeah. After playing Corn for a couple seasons, I would agree with you. If you get rolling, it's hard to stop you from rolling.
And Norse is pretty good at getting rolling.
Yeah.
Or at least my Norse are, because,
So far, yeah. You got your Claw, Mighty Blow, Yeti. You got some Strength for Ulf and whatevers. You got some cheap, dirty players.
Man, the Yeti's done nothing.
No, I remember very vividly from the opening game of the season, he was knocked on his ass like 8 times.
Yeah, and died. He got saved by the Apple.
Okay. Now, where is
He died
Baz?
twice, actually. He got saved twice.
Nice. Where is Baz going with this? I thought he'd be going... Okay, he's moving Griff to... Okay.
Yeah, he's doing the... He's going to push into Bobby Brown, I think. Yeah, he's going to push DJ Posner into...
Oh, Riot. Interesting.
Oh, Riot's good.
It
Man,
is.
Riot gave him the tie against me this season. The win against me this season. Otherwise, it was a tie.
Looks like he's changing plans. So you've got
Yeah.
Blitzer who can get downfield. You can get Griff downfield on the Blitz, perhaps. You kind of screen off with some peasants. I mean, they're called linemen, but I mean, let's just call them what they are. They're fucking peasants. They work the fields. They have their hoes, and they farm potatoes and whatever
You
else.
talking
people
about
eat.
hoes, XCon?
Of course, always.
I understand.
I don't even know what people eat in the old Blood Bowl universe. I'm assuming it's potatoes and tears and stuff like that. I mean, so how bleak is it to live in that universe? Honestly, you've got
Probably extremely bleak.
you've got chaos followers around every corner doing dark and evil things. You've got beastmen lurking in the woods, orcs, just savage creatures, Norsemen pillaging and raiding the coastline, Skaven underneath all your like. It's fucking bleak, man. All right. What's not
That's
bleak
good.
is this Bretonian play here. We're going to have Griff with the ball within scoring range for the final turn of the half. So, despite all the praise we heaped on Duke for their offensive drive and how they've, beat up the Bretonians, Baz has a chance here to stay in this game and get a score before the half.
I mean, I really don't expect I don't expect the Lizardmen to be able to stop Griff because Griff's too good.
He is pretty good. I think your best bet is to go through Kagan Baldry, the peasant up top, and then you can mark Griff with some kind of tackler.
Nah, I would just elf screen it and tell him to roll his dice.
So you're going to double stack
Yeah, everywhere.
here, so 2 spaces away. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I tried it against Kzarik at the end of overtime in our SLA playoff game, but I only had 6 players left, and so it was pretty easy for him to get around.
Well, also just in general, elf screening it's basically going, okay, you have a 40% chance to score. You're not, no matter how good you are, just roll your dice and
Yeah,
win.
it's not like, oh, I'm going to do something to stop you. It's I'm going to give you low odds, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, yeah.
I mean, Griffith's dodge, if he can knock down like Carlos Boozer or just even push him, you dodge into a tackle zone, it's 3+,
Yep, with a dodge reroll.
Yeah.
Is that source there for a reason? Because normally you'd...
I mean, it changes nothing.
Yeah.
The only way it changes something is if Kzarik made a mistake and put Arden like 1 up, just behind the source, then you could have dodged through there. Yeah, I think this is fine.
Especially if you tag the blitzer. He does have dodge, but you still force him to roll a dice if you need him to move. Or roll dice to move the source.
This is good and all, but you can just block Cody Co and run that way.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. Well, that's a little tougher. So I think you're going to block Tarim, and then you're going to blitz Carl as Boozer and dodge through the skink that does not have diving tackle. Probably.
I mean, you never know with those teams. I'd probably block Cody Co and dodge Griff. So that's a 2+ dodge into a 2+2+2+.
He just threw a 1-die block against the Croxivore.
Yeah, man.
I guess
It's Baz.
he wanted to have the 2 players for assists somewhere, but I thought for sure he'd set up a 2-die and have the 1 player free for an assist. Granted, your
I mean,
peasant there, Tyree Johnson's 4 movement, so it doesn't really help. So he frees up this peasant.
Seth Small. Yeah, I think you blitz Cody Ko now, or you. I mean, okay. Yeah.
He really
Nice
wants the
power.
Croxagore down. He's kind of playing with fire, though. None of these guys have had block to do these actions.
Yeah, because he wants to free up a Dauntless Beast so he can, get Cody Ko out.
Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
Now
4,
with a
5,
push,
6,
it's
7. That is
a
a
lot of
GFI, but you do get it.
All right, just hit your 2+.
3, 4,
Good luck,
5,
Griff.
6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Yep. So 2 and then 2, 2, 2. And there we go.
Right.
Sure Feet saves him, albeit barely. So it is 1-1 between Duke and Texas A&M. Well, AM rather, at the half.
What does AM stand for?
As far as I understand, is agriculture and manufacturing.
Okay. I mean, I'm Canadian, so I understand the word Texas. The rest,
That's the important part.
Yeah, sure. Also, it's written as ATM, which that's another thing I recognize.
Yeah, it's probably not something we can talk about on air, but it's certainly something.
No,
I. It's funny when you see that on their helmet. It just says ATM. I'm like,
Nice.
Boy, that makes me really want to go get money out of a ATM machine.
Exactly.
That's what
the
you're thinking
ATM.
about, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember. I'm actually switching topics. I remember
Okay.
I was in an SLA game the other night, and Sigmar, I think his name is Sigmar1. He's a pretty good coach there. He was like, I don't understand this diagonal defense. He said, I don't understand why anybody would do it. And I replied, I don't think he ever got back to me, but I said, it encourages your opponent to go a certain direction. And for Lizards, you're a very fast team, so you could swarm them pretty easily. It also, prevents...
Sigmar1 said he doesn't understand this kind of defense.
I think so. Maybe I'm misremembering, but...
Man, I am not surprised.
He doesn't see why. I don't remember... I haven't watched a ton of his games. I've only played him once personally. Maybe twice now. His Demons of Slash team are fucking terror in that league. They're so hard to beat. But, I don't know. I think he does kind of a more standard middle defense where you just have the line of scrimmage, then you have this bubble of 8 people kind of in the middle. But I've kind of like using the diagonal from time to time.
Yeah, diagonal's pretty good. The only way I'd use it is if I were faster than the enemy team.
Yeah,
personally. If I'm playing Dark Elves against Rats, I don't want to do the diagonal defense because the Rats are going to 2-turn. But if I'm playing, I don't know, Rats against Chaos, then sure, go a certain way. I don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, this defense is not going to stop an elf or a rat from scoring, but it may encourage them to score in 2 turns, and then you just keep the ball the rest of the game, which certainly you don't mind if you do it right. OTS chiming in the game chat about A&M and what it actually stands for and all that. If you desire more knowledge.
Okay. I mean, all right.
Yeah, I am not a... God, I don't want to say this on air, but I don't like that school. I don't like A&M at all. When you live in Texas, there's literally a dozen universities at the Division I level, so the highest level of sports and everything.
Sure.
Most people like the biggest university, which is Texas. You've probably heard of the Texas Longhorns, UT, and all that good stuff. A&M's their big rival. Oklahoma's another rival, but they're out of state barely.
So let me get this straight.
Okay.
The Texas school is called Texas.
Yes. University of Texas, technically, but Texas for short.
Okay. Because we have a university in my city.
Right.
It's the University of Montreal, and I'm in Montreal. But the funniest university is the University of Quebec in Montreal.
Hmm.
That's the name of the school.
Is Quebec the name of the province?
It's the name of the city and the province.
Oh.
So it's like, imagine if I say like, hey, what's the name of a city in Texas?
Dallas?
Sure. So like, the Dallas University in Oklahoma, and you're like, what?
Well, I mean, there are subsidiaries of schools. So, for example, there's University of Texas in Arlington, and Arlington's a small city outside of Dallas. So they're a subsidiary of the major University of Texas school.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, I mean, there's stuff like that everywhere. Man, we're
Yeah.
being all educational and informative. Like, this is a great broadcast.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Wog
See,
pointing out Kansas City, how there's a Kansas City, Missouri, and a Kansas City, Kansas, I suppose is
I don't
the
know
joke.
what any of those words mean. Like, I couldn't tell you if Kansas is a city or a state.
It's both. Kansas is a state, and there's a
Oh,
Kansas City, but there's also another city called Kansas City in a different state called Missouri. So
huh.
I don't know. America's stupid in a lot of
Yeah,
in a lot of regards.
agreed.
For example, Texas, there is a Rome, Texas, a Paris, Texas, um, and like two other major like European cities or countries have like cities named after them in Texas. We're just a weird fucking place.
Indiana University of Purdue and the University of Indiana.
That's interesting
What the fuck?
because I know Purdue is just a separate university. I'm trying to figure out how I would pronounce that
What the
acronym.
fuck?
IUP? IU? I don't know. I'm not going to try it anymore. University of Louisiana Lafayette, the old Raging Cajuns. Ooh la la. I love it.
Nice.
UNC, yeah, North Carolina has a lot of offshoots. University of North Carolina, Riley, and all that other
I'm kind
good
of
stuff.
surprised that Baz didn't go for his classic DACA offense, which is to not move his team up the field.
That's true. I'm starting to appreciate the finer aspects of that playbook more to where you don't need to expose the ball and the cage to pressure at all until like turn 4, turn 5.
Yeah, but the problem is when your opponent doesn't commit and just stands there, and then you kind of cry because you're not doing anything.
Yeah. Is that the best way to stop the Bazakastine offense? Literally just stand in midfield and click and turn after you blitz one guy, or do
Yeah,
you?
you starve them of space.
Okay,
You don't go for pressure on the ball. You just starve them of space.
so they can't get by you.
Yeah,
Makes
if you
sense.
look at my game versus Baz in
The
the
first one.
the one I won, don't look at the other
Don't look at
one.
the one you lost, right?
Or if you do, click away on turn 16 before the riot.
Okay.
That, you just wait around and eventually they just have to move up. And when they move up, then, you either win or you don't.
Well, the difference is between your game and Baz's game, and when he does the Baz Dakistine. If you're tied and you're never going to get the ball again, you are going to lose that game or tie that game.
Yeah.
The Baz Dakistine is what Stim was doing to you because
Yeah.
he like Baz, like he does the Baz Dakistine when he's tied. There's no reason to do it when you're losing because you need to go score. When you're tied and you can dictate the outcome of the game, either you win or you tie, that's why the offense is good.
Yeah, like as a general rule, and I talked with Baz about it a bit afterwards. If you kick first, you don't want to do the Baz Dakistine offense in the second half. It's more of a first half thing.
Interesting.
Because if you're down 0-1, you really don't
No.
want to do that.
Yeah, because it's a little slow and you may not end up scoring, which would not be good in most people's estimation. It looks like Baz is kind of going to reverse field a little bit here, which is the good call.
Yeah. Baz really likes to do the seesaw, which is what I call it. It's when you go to one side, your opponent commits, and you go to the other side, your opponent commits, then,
Then you go back until they can't commit, and then you just walk around them. It is a very good way to play. I know teams like Dark Elves are very good at it. Bretonnians, it's working right now. I don't know how long it'll last against lizards, but teams that have a bit of mobility, like humans, certainly good at it.
I mean, if you're the lizard coach right now, you really hate the position of your Cloxigor, in my
Maybe.
opinion.
I mean, he's tied up two guys. You can block one off and then maybe blitz the other and then tag the croc score on. You don't want to tag him against a blitzer.
I mean, what I meant by that is, in a lot of times, if you roll a 1, so like he wild animals or whatever, if he does that now, it's going to take you a while to put him back in the action.
Yeah, if Baz does keep going down to the bottom. That is the thing about bigs. Generally, it's best to keep them in the middle.
Yeah, roadblock.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing also, is if you play a team like orcs or like lizards, which have both similar ideas of their big guys, but the lizards one just being better.
Right.
I mean, you want your Croxigor to like soak up hits and just be annoying. You don't want him to you don't want to rely on him.
Yeah, Kzarik and I play our croc scores a bit differently. You see his currently has 36 SPPs and 3 skills. Like I guarantee he's probably going to throw a block with the croc score to end this turn. I rarely throw the block with the croc score unless it's a 3-die or, I have to for situation. I'm very pleased with him marking 1 or 2 people and just standing there the entire game. It's not great for his development, but it's good for the team, and that's what matters.
Yeah. And I mean, from my personal experience, I'm surprised anytime like a big guy does anything.
True.
It's like I'm playing in Norse, whatever, and my Yeti like throws a block, gets a cast. I'm like, oh shit, my Yeti got a cast. Wow.
Now, OTS, he did have a point, though. If Baz took the both down on his blitz, which would have made Bobby Brown wrestle down, he could have break tackled and gotten the croc score on the ball to mark him with prehensile tail and stand firm and all that good stuff. I don't know it's something you need to do on turn 2, but it would certainly force Baz to do something.
I mean, that's rough. Because it's a 2+ break tackle, it's a 2+ bonehead, and if it fails, you just put your Soros on the ground.
True. And he does throw the block with a croc score.
Yeah, I hate throwing that block with a passion.
Especially since he has Fend.
Yeah, it's like...
Well, Kzarik plays his lizards how he wants to play them, and he's been more successful than just about every one of us, so I suppose maybe he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, true. I mean, you say that until I go out in round 1 of, playoffs. Then... Wait, no, I might get a bye. Round 2? Oh.
I mean, right now, I think the 2 of you would have buys, you and Kzarik in the AFC, so... I was actually talking with Baz last night about the AFC, and I mean, we're going to be honest, I think we all expect your Norse to implode at some point this season. It's just... it's just going to happen.
See...
Go ahead.
You think so, and I'm playing GoTrek next week, so tune in.
That's true. His claw is meaningless, so that's basically free TV for you. We
his
said
claw.
Yeah, his claw.
His tackle.
All of those good skills.
Yeah.
Nothing a good dirty player Norseman can't fix.
Real talk. A lot of teams lose a lot of TV against me because of block.
True.
Because if I think about it this way, block is 10 TV for offensive, 10 TV for defensive. Mm-hmm. That's how I think about it.
Okay.
Well, you lose that 10 offensive TV every time against my Norse because you're never going to both down me. Ever.
I suppose,
right?
Yeah.
And when it's my turn to hit you, I have Frenzy. So I don't mind getting a push because I'm getting another block.
This is true. Interesting thoughts from the insight of Astaflix.
Yeah.
There's this ball going. He's going to continue switching fields. Probably a good move. Now you do have to be a little bit careful because both of those Sorai can take down potentially your 2 players, and never mind, it's all covered. He's good.
Also,
but beyond your Norse, you go ahead.
I just wanted to make a quick callback to the NBFL game.
Mm-hmm.
Chaos Dwarves have 3 players on the pitch, but the Chaos Chosen are stalling.
Oh,
so it's gonna be a tie.
Interesting.
Yes.
As far as the AFC goes, like right now, like you're penciled into a bye. Kazarik's penciled into a bye. Baz is pretty close to you. The AFC West is kind of a crapshoot still. I think all four teams are still relatively in
Yeah.
it. And then the East. Oh, right. Rel. Rel is way out in front of the East. But I can't pick Rel to move past the AFC Championship game. I just do not trust the Rats in a
What?
game where they just can't wizard in one turn to actually, like, play defense. Like, I love Rel, and he's doing really well with that team. But if he doesn't have a wizard, I don't know if he could, like, get a defensive sack. Because
Yeah. Well,
that team is an AG6 gutter, an AG5 gutter, that strength 4 agility 5 blitzer, and nothing else. Like there is nothing else on that team.
see, we're gonna find out when Rel plays against me because I'm gonna be under him in TV. So
Oh my god, that's gonna be great.
see, I'm a submarine Norse. I'm under 1900, and I have 15 players.
That's amazing. I was talking with Baz last night. I was like, it's amazing how in like one season we went from 2,800 plus teams being the meta to now all these low TV teams being successful, and a lot of that has to do with Wizards, obviously. But
Yeah. Hey, though I will say, against Mr. T, Wizard hasn't done shit. Like my Wizards this season haven't done anything. Like they fizzled twice against T. Against Menno, he had like two guys left, so I threw a Wizard in there. Against GoTrek, it gave me a win, 100%. So
yeah, I mean, I've had him maybe half my games. I've had a few that have worked out, a few that have been like okay, and then I had a zap against Gark to where he left his ball carrier way back by his goal line isolated, and if I zapped him, I was in a really good spot to get to it because his team was all in my half of the field. And so, of course, the zap doesn't work, but I end up pulling out that game regardless, but that would have been very nice. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a game changer. I don't think it's the only reason low TV teams have done so well and high TV teams haven't, other than the fact that, MRT's like 3,000 TV elves are all of a sudden like 1,900. Menno's 2,800 chaos are down to 2,200. I think KC is still probably close to 3,000.
yeah, KC's still at 3K
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But
because they have basically like 7 renegades, like superstars, something like that.
a lot of skills on that team. Interesting doctor for the Lizards. Instead of the KO, Felton Capel said, No. He just hit me really hard in the head, so I'm stunned. So he's back on the field.
I mean, I completely agree with the Apple usage. I think if you don't Apple there, you're probably less likely to stop Baz from scoring and thus winning.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really a skink that you're worried about losing besides the movement 9 side step, and even he's like not super special, so you're not devastated if he goes down. You've got a couple good Sorai, but I mean, Baz literally doesn't have Mighty Blow, so you're not worried about him killing a couple Sorai.
Yeah.
And yes, OTS, your dwarves are right up there, man. The NFC's got some teams at the top, but the middle is still very wide open, and our division's open. Like I'm barely ahead of you in the dwarves because Gark's struggling a bit, although he's not out of it either. So it's going to come down to the finish, I imagine.
Were there's dwarves in the NFC?
Yep, OTS, the Dallas Crowbar.
Oh, right.
I think Thorolf is the other one. Smeltimore?
Yeah, but Thorolf is, he's having a JR season, so.
Yeah, but he started the season with a Death Roller, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, see, big teams is fun until big teams don't do anything. And then, you have like 500 TV on your bench and your opponent has a wizard, 2 bribes, 2 babes, like the key to your house and something like that.
I mean, depth is obviously very important because most drives, I mean, it's hard to start with 11 sometimes in the NBFL. So
sure,
having a bench is important. But when your players, for example, you hire them off the street and they're just already loaded with block and ready to go. I mean, that's kind of an advantage, right?
I mean, hey, 16 men's chaos struggled to field 11 against me, so see, my goal
Interesting.
this season is to have one win where it's not an absolute dicing.
I wouldn't bother. Just keep dicing everybody. Also, I'm very confused by that blitz there by Kzarik. I mean, I'm not really scared of these peasants making like a touchdown catch deep downfield, and so he blitzes one off when he was already marked by a frenzy guy, and then tags the other one.
It felt good. Wag is correct. You know, you gotta follow your instincts sometimes, even when they're wrong.
He killed 3 elves and diced the guy. Man.
Yeah.
Maybe Wog's getting good at this game. We gotta watch out for him pretty soon.
See, I got in early. It was his first game, I think, in the NBFL. I beat him. I swindled him. I stole his pants, and now I don't have to deal with him.
You stole the man's pants. That's unforgivable.
Man, Baz has a pretty easy path right now. Still easy path because you blitz Carlos Boozer and then you have a huge chunk of field up north.
It's true. Now, I think in retrospect, I realized what Kzarik was doing by freeing up his Frenzy Source. He wanted him at the bottom to stop any potential push down here. But now that he vacated the north, and Astaflix pointed out there's just a mere single Saurus standing in your way for the most part, you just flip the field back again.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you say I diced the shit out of you, but my Norse have been dicing a lot of people. Also, you killed like one of my best blitzers on like a 1D block with nothing. So fuck you, Wag.
If anything, it just helped you lower your TV.
Man, I started with like 5 draft picks. On game 3, I had 1 or something like that.
The Yeti and your Ulf and whatever.
Yeah, I have a plus AG runner that with dodge. I have a Yeti that died twice, and I have Doid. Man, Doid's been good though. 15 Kaz.
14 of the 15 in the first game against MRT, if I recall.
Exactly. See, he's got 6 in the season opener, then 3 against Cattle, and 3 against the kills.
So go big or go home with that guy, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Baz is going for the heavy mark here, but he's going to try to get upfield and get around, and he's in a pretty good position. I know lizards are pretty fast. I mean, his ball carrier is movement 7, and all the skinks are like horizontal with him are movement 8. So I think Kzarik can definitely recover, but
I actually don't remember that one. I just don't.
It's funny how we tend to forget the things that could have like lost us the game.
Oh, I remember the things that could have lost me the game. I also don't remember what I remember what lost me the game. I don't remember what didn't work that could have lost me the game.
Fair point.
Like I remember that riot against Baz. Oof.
Yeah.
That one stuck.
And the game against Tim where just like nothing worked.
Yeah, I mean, I got
especially that foul where you fouled with like your 3-skill blitzer against somebody, and we're all just sitting there in the booth going, "What is this man doing?"
I won on the bribe, and then I lost against him. And that was it.
That's true. It went all downhill from there. But
like I fouled, I didn't break armor. I got sent off. I had like a perfect situation otherwise.
Okay.
And then Baz screamed at me.
All right, and all of a sudden the Baz offense, which had the reversal of field and looked like they're getting past all the lizards, now the 2 leading peasants or whatever the hell was out there, they're gone, and now the path to the end zone looks a little tougher.
Really? Because it's going to be tough for him to block off like one from the top. Because Baz can pretty easily just run straight through.
And we still got most of Kzarik's turn.
No, that's true.
I mean, he could take Cody Co and go tag up nothing. He could tag up that, patch of green grass right there, but then you swing some skinks up there and you got yourself a little like defensive lizard shield. If this was Total War Warhammer 2, we call it Shield of the Old Ones, but that's not what we're playing today.
We do? I've never heard that before. That's kind of cool.
Do you have Total War Warhammer 2?
Yes.
Do you...
I purchased it legally and legal way.
I mean, it's literally on sale like everything. It's actually on sale right now, like really cheap for like $14 or $19 or something. But regardless, the Slann have like one of the variants. There's different schools of magic. One of them have a ability called Shield of the Old Ones. It drops this like big blue shield on a pretty big patch of the battlefield. If you remember Star Wars Episode 1 where the Gungans are fighting the droid army, it looks like that shield, and it lasts for like 30 seconds and mitigates about half the damage that area takes, so it's a pretty dope spell. And
I heard it was Star Wars Episode 1 and I zoned out.
You zoned out. I don't blame you.
That was it.
That was not...
No Jar Jar for me, please.
Yeah, that was not a great movie. 2 wasn't great either. And neither was 3, so just not a great trilogy. And it's a shame because the Clone Wars is the coolest thing in any sci-fi universe ever, and it's done justice by the miniseries. Well, there's 2 miniseries at this point, and both of them are really good, but the movies were just not great.
Nice hit.
That is a nice hit by Isaiah Spiller.
I would, Baz might go for the score, but I would just stall another turn. Oh well,
Looks like he's going
exactly
for the sideline cage, which should be safe thanks to sidestep.
Yeah.
Keyword.
That's why you break, tackle, grab, Saurus.
That's true. I do like grab. I can never afford to take it in the NCBB. It's like the 4th skill I would take.
Also, okay. If there's one thing I want from Blood Bowl 2020 is the ability to cancel sidestep on a frenzy blitz. Give me any skill. Call it like potato skin or whatever. As long as
you're not
cancel sidestep.
You're not allowed to take grab. Yeah, that is a very good counter to frenzy. I remember, I started playing Khorne in the NBFL, and I'm in the NFC East, and all of a sudden on the Dark Elves and High Elves have sidestep everywhere, and I'm like, wait a second, this isn't as fun as I thought it was going to be.
See, you say that, but the trick is you just gotta roll POWs, and then you don't need Frenzy.
It's true.
And then you killed Mr. D's team twice.
I tried my best, but apparently I can't do what you do.
I mean, just go real low in TV, don't even take block, and then you lose every game.
Interesting. I mean, I lost most games anyway, so what's the harm in trying, right? It's so sad. I think both seasons with the Khorne, I started like 2-1-0 or like 2-0. Like the first 3 games were relatively strong, and then literally just downhill from there.
Yeah. I understand what you mean. I was playing in a secret league. I was playing like Savage Orcs, which are like AV7 Frenzy Everywhere Orcs.
They seem kind of cool though, but I don't think they're good.
They're super cool. I was winning games I should not have been winning. And then the league was like, oh, we're not going to give you cash to replace your players. And I was like, what?
I think you told me the story. Yeah, you're too good. You're like, wait a second, that's not fair.
They were like, you're winning games. And I'm like, yes. And they're like, so? And I'm like, watch my games.
I don't have anybody left.
I had 7 loners at some point on the roster.
I'm sorry. If teams can't beat you and you have 7 loners, maybe that's just on them.
And, some of those teams, they were like 2K TV teams that didn't beat me.
That
was like 1,300.
That's kind of embarrassing. I think Kzarik might re-roll this. No?
I mean, if you don't reroll that, then what?
I think it's just if he knocked that guy down, it would have been much harder for Baz to score. I mean, it's still not going to be easy here unless you dodge away, give the ball to Griff. Griff just blitzes his way through.
Yeah, I mean that's what I would do. You have Griff, you got to use it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, as a 3+ dodge, you're canceled by tackle. Then a 2+ handoff, I'm assuming you get rid of the skink with this, peasant. Even a peasant can take down a skink, right?
Yeah, I can push him away. Yeah, you say diving tackle, but that's why you don't, dodge in the diving tackle area. You dodge around it.
Yeah, we're gonna punch the skink and then yeah, just kind of make our way, making our way downtown.
Yeah, because don't forget, Griff is basically movement 10 because of sprint sure feet. Very
Tis
good.
true. Although this guy could mess up our plans.
It's a skink. Like, yeah, worst case, you just dodge through the fucking tackle zone. You close your eyes, you click buttons.
Many a man has tried, but skinks are resilient little bastards sometimes. You'd be surprised. So what if we dodged Isaiah Spiller down into the end zone and like dodge back a square and toss it to him? With that, he's got catch. He has to dodge away from. So I'm not liking this play, but it'd be a 3+, 3+, 4+, 3+. Don't get intercepted by a big ass lizard.
That's a lot of dice.
Yeah, I'm not in love with the play, but I'm not sure getting through with Griff is a great option either. At this point,
I mean, worst case, you dodge out your Isaiah Spiller,
mm-hmm.
and you put him in the end zone, and you score.
Right, but I just described that sequence where you like dodge him out and then have to pass it to him. Are you trying to hand him the ball somehow?
Oh, the way I was thinking is you block the diving tackle with Griff,
Okay.
then you blitz the other one with Josh Rogers.
Okay.
Then you dodge, then you throw.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna block with Griff, blitz Arden Tomlinson that way, dodge Kellum. Okay, so that's a little bit easier. You could probably make that a 3.
Yeah, because
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you can make that a 3. It's still not
easy 3.
Oh,
interesting.
So
very.
He's not doing that thing we talked about.
I see what he's trying to. Yeah. Now he's gonna surf his own play.
Classic.
Okay, but Baz, my friend, what?
This is not working like he wanted it to.
So you surf your own play.
Oh yeah, teach those Bretonian. Oh my god, that's Saurus. He's gonna sidestep, but he is gonna. Oh my god, this is like the coolest accidental surf of all time. There's no way he meant to do that entire sequence.
Hey, you can't understand the genius of Bazakastine.
I guess not. I'm sorry, but if anybody said they saw that sequence like play out in their mind at the start of that turn, like
see the sequence I had in mind
liar.
The sequence I had in mind was you surf your own guy and then you leave the
game. Oh man, that's the one thing I'm trying to get better about in this game. Like I think I've got a pretty good grasp on most aspects of it, but trying to project where players need to be at the end of the turn before I like do the turn. Like sometimes my spacing isn't where it needs to be, or I just move a guy downfield, and then at the end of the turn I'm like, oh shit, he should have been one square over, but I didn't realize that when I made the move initially. So just little stuff like that, projecting ahead.
Yeah, it's definitely a skill for Blood Bowl coaches, and it's a skill that some coaches lack.
Here's a good blitz on the ball.
Hey. No armor break there. That's pretty important. Because you need all your guys to be up and away.
Yeah, especially since he's got Dauntlessing in Blitz, Felton, Capel the third. Potentially.
You could have surfed!
Yeah,
you pushed him to DJ,
I guess you could have, yeah.
God damn it.
What a shame.
I mean, I would have done that because what are you doing here?
Takes a player off the field so he can't use it. Is he going for a block with the skink against Griff? Yes, he is. And then he's gonna follow and then sneak in with the agility. There's no agility 4. But he's gonna sneak in with Zeri. Oh. Interesting. I thought he would have followed, went in for the 3+ pickup, and then ran back and screened yourself off, and you probably would have been relatively safe, but we'll see. I mean, you could still 3+ dodge, 3+ pickup, and
Yeah, but if you do that, you just lost like 4 cases of movement for nothing. Oh yeah, fend.
correct.
Never mind.
Man, we're dumb. Better color. Well, OTS, you get a mic and you get in here.
Yeah. Also, I don't know who. Like, I know I'm the color commentator, but yeah, nah.
We're doing our best here, okay? We're unpaid interns.
Exactly. I mean,
if we want to sit
found
here,
out,
good.
I found out that Baz was running the Bretonian team the moment I clicked into the game.
That's true. Astaflex has not had a whole lot of time to prepare. Duke's going for the win, apparently. They're getting somebody in scoring range.
Oh yeah, I mean, I completely agree with doing that. Like, you gotta, I think.
There's a 3+, and a nope.
Ooh, huge.
Poor little skink. Now, Duke can still score potentially in the last turn, but we'll see if Baz can somehow fandangle
I definitely see a way.
touchdown, but okay, well, go ahead.
So with Isaiah, you block Drew Agent Orange, which is going to be a 1-die, but you only need a push.
Right.
So you push that, then you like stand up Kellen Mond.
Okay.
You put Bobby Brown one of the bottom of Kellen Mond. So and then you block Felton Capel.
Okay.
Which allows you to push him away from the ball.
Okay.
In case of a push, then
well, what if
hit the pickup?
What if you do go for the push onto the ball and it scatters like? I mean, if it scatters right or left, I think you got a good shot at it. If it scatters like down, you might be kind of screwed. But
see, I would keep my blitz so that if it scatters on the ball and someone catches it, I can try to kill the skink.
Right.
As to make sure I can.
I think you throw that block because you have Dauntless, so that's good. And then you want to move. Well, you don't want to block yourself, but you also, I think, need to stay there to set up a 2-die.
Nah, you don't need a 2-die. You have Dauntless.
Well, if you blitz with Kellen, yeah, but you don't want to use your blitz, right?
Yeah, but it's one of the two.
Interesting. I thought he would have saved Griff in case he wanted the agility 4 dodge to do something.
I mean, now he's gonna 1-die. Yeah, he's gonna 1. Oh, I don't like that because now. Yeah. Oh well, okay. Just roll a 6.
Just roll a 6. It is guarded by diving tackles, so do you like go pick it up and then just throw it, which is probably the same roll, essentially with the -2. Or do you switch here and?
No. What I think you do is what he's gonna do. Oh, okay. Don't reroll that, Baz. You got to go for the win. I don't care if it makes you lose the game. You go for the win.
That is the call. Like, do you try to go for the POW or the wrestle? He doesn't get it. But I was thinking you were thinking like take one of the yeomen and blitz the skink onto the ball and hope it pushes north and
away from the ball.
Away from the ball. Really? I thought you push it onto it and then hope it scatters near Aeneas Smith.
Then, unless you knock down the skink, there's like he can still score. Hit the 6, Baz.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1. No, he's 1 square short, isn't he?
I mean, he's 2 squares short, but you can try.
Damn, that was loud. Sorry.
That's all right.
Well, not just you, but anybody listening.
That's all right.
Fair enough.
Hey, chat. If you were disturbed by that, fuck you.
Oh, that's probably overkill, but
okay.
We'll see. We'll see if Kzarik can figure something out here. You can't blitz anybody off the ball carrier because they both have stand firm. Let's see. You can stand up the Saurus and then 2-die the Blitzer and then 2-die Griff. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Double GFI handoff to the skink since you don't want to pass.
See, there's this
OTS
concept.
volunteering for the next broadcast. I like it.
Ooh,
Go ahead, though.
nice. There's this concept in Mahjong, which is a Chinese gambling parlor game,
Right.
which is flow. It means if you're lucky, you got to push your luck.
So it's
you
like
know,
it's like in poker when you have to ride a hot hand, right? Or blackjack or something like that.
sure. I mean,
Here
in
goes the double GFI handoff into 2 tackle zones, and he doesn't quite get it. Almost, though. A 4 on a 5 plus. A good
Alright,
defensive battle between Duke and Texas A&M. The less agriculture is like, they were right on the cusp of stealing this one. And stealing is probably an insult, because I think Baz felt like he was in a good position late, but couldn't quite get the job done.
I mean, hey, if you're Baz, you're probably really annoyed by that game.
You're probably bummed by the result, but I mean, considering that you lost a bunch of players early and got the touchdown before the half, and put yourself in a position to win late. I mean, you played well, just didn't materialize.
Yeah, and if you're Kzarik, you print it out, you frame it, and you put it in the fridge.
2 stars.
I mean, all right. Have a good time, XCon.
Thank you, Astaflix. Thank you, anybody who is watching now in the future. We'll catch you next time.